So this book was gifted to me by someone. I live in New York, as you guys know, and someone was generous enough to pull me to the side and tell me about their business, as well as give me one of the books to, you know, get a little feel of what it is that they do and whatever you want to call it. So the book is called They Say. And these people were very like woken people, like, you know, ancient, and they are all into the Egyptian and all types of stuff. So I was like, why not? I mean, it wasn't like he harassed me, but he was just like very like strong on getting me to accept the book and to open up to the first page that I open up to and tell him how I felt about it. So with that being said, I found interest in the book afterwards, and he tried to charge me, I think it was about like $5, and he had a partner with him, and the partner was like, no, I'll pay for it. And the guy was like, okay, like whatever. roses. 21. They say beauty is only skin deep, but ugly goes right to the core. Grandma says, not true. Many people that are considered beautiful to look at are ugly inside. To a doctor or scientist who studies the inside of the human body, they find beauty beneath the skin and the magnificent workings of the human body. 22. They say life is what you make it. Grandma says gibberish. Not when you're Grandma's talking her stuff. Not when you are a slave being told that you are free and being told that you have equal rights, and all of those are lies. You have no control over your life. 23. They say good things come to those who wait. Grandma says untrue. If you're slow, you will blow. If you want something, don't sit around waiting for it to come to you. Get up and go get it. I needed that. I highlighted that. Some of them I highlighted. I heard you, Grandma. They say fight fire with fire. Grandma says foolishness. Fight fire with water. I don't know about water, maybe like baking soda or something that's gonna take the fire out. But if you're really trying to put up a fight, fight fire with water. They say you can't beat a dead horse. Grandma says untrue. You can. You just won't get the same results like beating a horse that is alive. They say good things come in small packages. Grandma says untrue. Some good things come in small packages, some good things come in medium-sized packages, and some good things don't come in packages at all. They say your eyes are bigger than your stomach. Grandma says foolish. Any science book will show you your eyes are smaller than your stomach, and just because you're looking at the whole cake, it doesn't mean you can eat it. You can't judge a book by its cover. Grandma says wrong again. The title of a book is usually the front or the spine. To find it in a library, you would have to read the cover. They say people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I'm sorry for all the noise outside, guys, but I think that they're working on their car and they're like pulling the lever all around the car, so it's gonna be a little noisy, but I just pray that my voice overpowers the noise, so I'm gonna keep talking. People who live in glass houses should not throw stones. Grandma says no again. People do not live in glass houses. Glass houses are called nurseries for raising plants. And if it's men, don't talk about what other people do. If you're doing things, who would listen but a fool? I don't really understand that one. I would have to read it slower. They say you never know what you have until it's gone. Grandma says untrue. You would have to know there was some value in it when you first went to get it. You just didn't know how to hold on to it. That's true. That's very, very, very true. 31. They say a leopard never changes its spots. Grandma says untrue. People are changing for the better and for the worse every second, and every year a leopard sheds its coat and its spots slightly change. They say don't count your chickens before they hatch. Grandma says wrong. You don't count them as chickens before they hatch. You count them as eggs. 33. They say don't cry over spilled milk. Grandma says wrong. If you don't have another glass will drink. Wait, let me read that over. If you lead the donkey to the water by a long dry path, believe its thirst will make him drink. I couldn't get that out for the life of me. 40. They say, don't bite off more than you can chew. Grandma says, if you're hungry, bite off as much as your mouth will hold and just take your time and chew it. They say, what you don't know won't hurt you. Grandma says, untrue. When the people or governments or agencies are scheming and plotting on you behind your back, they can hurt you. They say what hasn't met you yet hasn't passed you. Grandma says, foolishness. You can be met from 4 different directions, north, south, east, or west, and whatever meets you could have passed you many times before. That's crazy. They say you are what you eat. Grandma says, wrong. Some things you eat pass right through your digestive system. Number 44. They say everything in the dark must come to light. Grandma says, wrong. The universe has been in triple darkness from before the birth of this planet, and many people have gotten away with their dirt. Sheesh. We have 5 more after this. Number 45. They say it goes into one ear and out the other. Grandma says, foolish. There is much matter between the human ears from one side to the next. Not to mention nothing nobody hears. Do they ever really forget? 46. They say apple trees can't bear bananas. Grandma says, wrong. Nowadays they have what's called a nectarine, a nectarine, and a host of other fruits that are man-made. Not man-made. They say it's a small world. Grandma says, not true. That depends on your mode of travel and your size. They say birds of a feather flock together. Grandma says, foolishness. Many innocent people are in jail with criminals, and many criminals are in the streets socializing as innocent. Number 49. Don't dish out more than you can take. Grandma says, gibberish. Anything that you could do to someone, you can think it, so you can imagine it, and it can happen to you. And number 50. They say, make your word your bond. Grandma says, nonsense. You may want to, but you can't always keep all the promises you make. Grandma said it, not me. So that was all 50 quotes of what they say and how Grandma feels about it. If you don't know Grandma, her name is Grandma York. Grandma York. I don't know if y'all can search her up or anything of that matter, but the people of this book are I don't know their names. I'm not too sure,